This week's game of the week is Bulletstorm. Developed by People Can Fly and Epic Games and published by Electronic Arts, this first-person shooter released in February of 2011 for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. An updated remastered called Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition released for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Microsoft Windows in April of 2017. There was also a VR version of the game that released in December of 2023. This game was considered a commercial failure after its release, with sales underperforming EA's high expectations. Did this game deserve its low sales? Let's check it out and see if it's worth picking up. For this review, I played the full clip edition on my Xbox Series X. All gameplay shown is my own footage. At first, this game feels very reminiscent of the cheeky, over-the-top first-person shooters of the 90s and early 2000s era, such as Duke Nukem, Serious Sam, and the like. As you progress through the main campaign, you will quickly realize that it has very unique mechanics that make it stand out from these older titles, with the biggest thing being the skill shot mechanic that is implemented as the game's reward system. In my mind, this system is very unique in that it almost forces you to vary up your tactics and gameplay so you can accumulate the most amount of points, which is then used to upgrade your abilities. It feels very rewarding to pull off a cool shot or trick that lands you a boatload of points. Moving on to the visuals, the enhanced graphics for this remaster are crisp and look visually appealing, and feature some very interesting environments, including jungle-like areas, large cityscapes, and irradiated factories. Overall, this game is a high-octane, fun, first-person shooter that I can recommend checking out, if you are looking for something that changes up the typical first-person shooter format. As an added bonus, the main character is actually the same voice actor as Dempsey from Black Ops Zombies, whose name is Steve Bloom, and I think he does some great work in this game, even though his lines are pretty cheesy at times. My only other qualms with this game is that the gameplay reminds you at points that you are playing an older 7th generation game. Sometimes the movement feels clunky, and the game has that type of aim assist that we see a lot in these older Call of Duty games, where if you point your gun in the general direction of an enemy and then aim down the sights, it snaps onto the target very hard. Also, the story is pretty bland and doesn't really pick up towards the very end. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week.